What's up, everybody on YouTube? Griffin here, coming back to you guys with a quick video. Found my little selfie stick, so I figured instead of just doing my normal, sitting around with a plain Jane background either in the office or in the truck, I would, just walk you guys around a little bit. So hopefully I don't give anybody motion sickness or anything. I'll try to keep the moving, somewhat to a minimum. We'll probably go out and take a look at the pool and whatnot in a second, just because part of, we'll go out there right now actually, because if you're new to me, by the way, before we get started with the video, my name is Griffin, of course. If you haven't seen the name of the YouTube channel, my name is Griffin Thomas. I'm the owner of the company you see here on my shirt, Preferred Pest Management. We've been in business for about 3 years now. This is our third summer, hiring our first employee right now. About to get him started here in July, trying to figure out exact day and everything. We're doing the background checks, vehicle, background checks in terms of insurance and all that good stuff. And hopefully we'll be starting training, hopefully here within the next week or so. So if you're looking to start or grow, start a pest control business, grow your pest control business, definitely subscribe, hit the bell icon below, that way you won't miss any future videos or anything like that. I try to post at least roughly once a day on average. Sometimes I miss, one day occasionally just because life happens. I have a 3-year-old, almost 4-year-old, and then she's not a newborn anymore. She's actually an infant technically. She's now 6 weeks old already. Crazy, time flies, right? Got the pool in the background for you guys. Let me go ahead and turn it on for you too, so you see the waterfall and everything. And the reason I wanted to kind of change the scenery too for you all before we get, like I said, into the video, is me personally, I'm the type who, man, it's hot. 100 degrees out here again in DFW. Me personally, I am the type of, watcher, I guess, on YouTube, where I like, that pump's pretty loud, I like to kind of see where people are, kind of like visual manifestation, I guess, long story short. I like to see kind of where people are in their journey, who are ahead of me. I don't like, obviously, looking at people who are under me, because obviously they're not where I want to be or anything like that. Not to sound like, I guess, cocky or unhumble or anything like that, but obviously you want to look at people's lives and see where they are compared to where you are, what they're doing compared to what you're doing, see how you can learn from them, that kind of thing. And like I always stress on this channel, I by no means know everything whatsoever. I mean, I'm learning stuff every single day to the point that a lot of times I got to take a little break just because I literally mentally exhausted my brain. Like I get to the point where I just literally can't even take any more information in on a day-to-day basis. Starting to get our little waterfall going there in the background. But yeah, so I wanted to just kind of change the scenery a little bit just so you guys could see kind of, if you go back and see all of my older videos, you can literally watch me start from literally being in a little 700 square foot apartment, 1 bedroom, 1 bath. Wasn't like in a ghetto or anything, but it wasn't nothing, over the top nice. I was working for Terminex. I was doing YouTube videos primarily about the stock market because, I started this whole channel about, just literally walking through my journey of, achieving financial freedom by any means necessary. And, we traded stocks, traded futures, all that type of stuff. I still love keeping up with that, and I still, from time to time, when I'm getting a little antsy with my money, in terms of just hating having big lumps and I don't want it depreciating any more than it already is, I'll still do that from time to time. But of course right now our main focus is on the pest control business. Point being, if you go back and just watch my journey over specifically the last 3 or 4 years, you'll see, or even 5, 3 to 5, because we've already been in business now 3 years almost. If you go back, the last 5 years, about 2017, 2018 till now, you will see just that, it doesn't take very long to level up in life. And like I said, I'm by no means even where I want to be. This is a nice home that we now live in, beautiful, pool in the background, very little yard maintenance, if any, because, most of it's the pool. But by no means am I even where I want to be. like I mentioned, I by no means have all of the answers in terms of growing your pest control business. There's a lot that I'm learning every single day, even from you guys in the comments. Point some stuff out to me from time to time. But like I said, we're just documenting the journey, and I just specifically want to show you guys what's possible in a very short amount of time if you're willing to just dedicate yourself to growing your mind, growing your knowledge in terms of course, not just pest control information, but specifically information to grow your pest control companies, focusing on, your KPIs, focusing on, your average cost per acquisition, your cost per, per treatment, quote unquote, for your general pest control, your reservice rate, your cancel rate, all these different analytics. They're all important. None is more important than the other. But if I were to say, what's the most important number in my opinion so far, it's how many new clients. What is our new client to lost client ratio? Is it at 0? Is it in the negative? Hopefully not, especially being a small company. Positive, how positive is it? Is it 3 to 1? Is it 2.5 to 1? Is it 1 to 1? Is it if you're a brand new company, it's probably like 20 to 1 more than likely. Or more in some cases, 50 or 100 to 1 if you're like brand new. And focusing on how to maximize the client list that you have in terms of what's their contract value. If you got, I always like once a year to sit down and take a look at, okay, what is our average contract value per customer? How much are they paying us per year? Is it $400? Is it $800? Is it $1,200? And how can we, what customers have already been with us for over a year that are under $500, and how can we add value to them and get that contract value up? Not just, going around and scamming people, obviously. We're not just jacking prices up 50% or anything crazy, unless if you need to. If you're underpriced, you got to do what you got to do. But how are you adding value to them? How can you, a general pest control customer who owns their home, how can we add value to them? Well, we can protect their home with termite prevention. Sell them on the statistics. Here in Texas, rule of thumb is about 1 in 4 to 1 in 5 homes have an active termite infestation at any given moment. A lot of people don't know that. Even a lot of pest control owners don't know that. The more you know about your industry, the more you're going to see them as an authority. And when you're seen as more of an authority in your industry, the more likely your customers are to trust you and not just go with you for, what they originally called you for, but even more services. And then, of course, telling their friends about you, like, hey, Joe the Pest Man, I was with X company before, and, they were just spraying random stuff, killing my plants left and right. But Joe the Pest guy, he came out and, he was not pushy at all. He presented everything to me. We started out on his general pest plan. Then he told me about, a few months later, he told me about termites and this and that. And he hooked us up on a great termite program, blah, 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 blah. And then, boom, your name just starts spreading like a wildfire. So, like I said, we document here just all that type of stuff that, again, it's all just from my experience. I don't try to tell you guys that my way is the only way. Matter of fact, my way is one of the slower ways, in all honesty. I mean, there's a lot of people who do stuff that I'm not doing right now, like door knocking. I know even some of you in the comments have been door knocking recently, and you've been signing up quite a few customers recently, where me, I just don't. I mean, it's not my type of, I'm not by nature, a true quote-unquote salesman. I am good at sales, but I have to be in a very specific environment for selling. And, I know if I were to just force myself to get out there and do it, plus it's a time factor too. You have to have the time to door knock as well, or hire it out. But that's one area that I know that we are missing out big on, and who knows, maybe in the future we'll hit on that. But like I said, my way is definitely not the only way. I'm just literally documenting this journey for you all, trying to show you all everything that's possible. Like I said, those of you that don't know my journey, we started back in 2020, the year of COVID, of course. I had a little girl that just turned 1 year old, lost my job at Terminex due to corporate politic BS at the end of the day. And, the same week that coincidentally I was scheduled to take my exams, passed them bad boys, rest is history. I was able to, quote-unquote, retire my wife. She doesn't do anything for work now. She actually just had our second child, like I said, about 6 weeks ago. And, yeah, we just recently moved into this home, 5-bedroom, 3,000 square foot home. And the payment on this is more than what I used to even definitely bring home, but even on my W-2 for pre-tax would make in a whole month. And, like I said, less than 2.5 to 3 years later, we're living a pretty nice life. I mean, like I said, nowhere near satisfied by any means, but definitely love just seeing the progress. We're, like I said, getting ready to hire this employee, bring him on, and just get ready to take that next step towards growth. I've been avoiding it for a while. You guys know I bought the truck months ago now, almost 5-6 months ago. So I should have probably hired before spring and summer, but again, this is my first time really doing this with having a service business, and it's all a giant learning journey to me, just like I know it will be for most of you. And if you're looking at hiring somebody for your pest control business to take your pest control business to that next level like I am, like I said, if you haven't already, what you're doing, subscribe, learn from my mistakes. That way you don't got to make the same costly mistakes, and hopefully you'll learn a thing or two. And like I said, just get to where I am even quicker. Instead of it taking you 2 to 3 years to have your own pool and all that type of stuff, maybe it takes you 3 to 6 months. I always say, like I mentioned a lot of times on our specific playlist, which if I remember to, I'll link it here. I got to remember around 11 minutes and 30 seconds to link that bad boy for you, all that playlist about things I wish I knew when I started my pest control company. Had I known the things that I've been listing off in that series, boy, if I knew that day one or before day one, like I know a lot of you guys are pest technicians, and watching that content way in advance before starting your company, good on you. Take notes, take screenshot, whatever you need to do to learn all that stuff that took me now 2+ going on 3 years to learn. It'll save you a lot of time and a lot of money. And time and money are the two things that time specifically, of course, you don't get back. The money you always get back, but you'd rather not waste that money, of course. And like I always tell everybody when they're getting into this industry or starting any business, however much time and money you think it's going to take, it's usually going to take about 3x or more, or in some cases even 10x. So if you can, cut out some of that in the early stages, like I said, you can achieve everything I've achieved, which is not much, at least in my humble opinion. Like I said, I'm proud of where we are, but I'm definitely not impressed with myself or anything like that. I got a long way to go. You guys know we have a mission of getting to at least a $50 to $100 million valuation before I'm remotely satisfied with where we're at. So in terms of where we are right now, where we're only set to do $150,000 to $200,000 this year at the minimum, but in terms of where we want to be, this is a drop in the bucket where we're at right now. But again, I know for those of you that are like just getting started, including myself when I was in your shoes, I like just that visualization of like seeing what people have going on, in their life, where they're at, whenever I can know for a fact that, hey, if I'm willing to do what this person did within about a 1 to 3 year or less period, I can, have that type of life myself. And it may, for you, you may not ever want a pool. Me, that was one of the main things. That was, for me, again, it was one of the main things for me. Like, I was like, I want a family and I want a pool. Once I get a family, I want a pool that we can come out. I mentioned this in a previous video as well when we first moved here and gave you all just kind of a little tour. That I'm getting hot, so I'm gonna go back inside. But I mentioned to you all, how important it was to me to have that. But like I said, for some of you all, that may not even be a want. For you, it may just be, extra money to put towards retirement. This home is costing us an extra $1,200 a month compared to where we're living right now. For you, what would you do with an extra $1,200 a month? Would you put that away in a index fund or something, a mutual fund that earns you 8 to 12% interest a year? Because that, hey, I'm 40, 50 years old, clock's ticking. on retirement and I got nothing saved, I better late than ever. Better start putting $1 to $2 grand a month into retirement. You know, are you younger like me and you know, want to save up for a down payment on a home or something where, you know, you can start your dream life with your, hopefully your dream lady and, you know, that kind of thing? Or, you know, are you just a single guy, 18 to 22 years old, just kind of trying to figure out life and, you know, you want to buy a bunch of stupid stuff like an 85-inch TV just to watch the Super Bowl once a year on? Calling myself out there a little bit. But you know, like I said, I mean, we all got different whys at the end of the day, and I feel like if you just kind of figure out the why first and foremost, everything else will just come together. And if you're someone who's watching this and you haven't started your business yet, you're my main target. If you want to call it quote unquote a target audience, you're kind of the target audience because, like I mentioned so many times, if I knew X before starting my company, if I knew X before this, X before that, I'd be so many weeks, months, years ahead of where I'm at right now. And I mean, I'm grateful for all of, you know, like I said, the learning that I'm doing on my own. But had I known it going in, this is kind of a bad angle. If I knew what I knew now when I first started, we'd probably be at least 3 to 4x, minimum 2.5x the size that we are right now, which means I'd probably have 2 employees right now instead of getting ready to hire 1, maybe even 3. And yeah, but at the end of the day, you don't want to drown on that either. Like, you don't want to, like, I don't feel sorry for myself or feel down about it. There are times where I kind of, you know, it kicks me into an extra gear when I don't want to do something because it's like, hey, dummy, you're behind. You gotta work because, you know, you didn't do this when you first got started. You didn't do that when you first got started. Like, you're playing catch up now. That's how I kind of look at it, but it's like a healthy, you know, you don't want to get crazy with it or anything. But yeah, I mean, I know I didn't bring much value. I try to bring as much value as I can on the channel for you guys. Like I said, this video was kind of more so just, I found my tripod, or not tripod, I found my little selfie stick that extends out, you know, pretty far. And, you know, when you find something that you hadn't used in a while, you always want to play with it like a kid who finds a toy or something. And I know I hadn't really, outside of that one video poolside, hadn't really walked you all around the house or anything. We always tend to do videos either from the truck or, you know, from the office or whatever the case may be. And I had the house to myself. It is kind of messy life of having a 3-year-old and a 6-week-old at the end of the day at the moment. But just wanted to kind of walk you all around, give you all a little tour of what my life looks like right now. We haven't even gone upstairs or anything. But yeah, like I said, for me personally, I love seeing kind of what everyone has going on for themselves, who, you know, you kind of see like a, I guess, mentor. I mean, I don't really see myself necessarily as a mentor or anything like that, but I'm sure at least one of you probably watches this and, you know, wants to kind of, not necessarily follow my footsteps per se, but, you know, you take my advice at the end of the day. Otherwise, why would you watch this stuff, right? So just kind of wanted to drop in, give you all a little video of just kind of, you know, what you can get. I mean, this home, it's not like a materialistic thing or anything, but the home is, you know, worth, I don't know, $500,000 or something like that. And, you know, great pool. I mean, I get to finally come home and just feel, and I say finally as if I'm old or something, but I finally, after just all the work I've been putting into the business and whatnot, and to just learning the game, I finally get to come home, jump in a pool, you know, enjoy the home that I live in, instead of like coming home and feeling squished and, you know, not even going in my backyard because it's so damn hot and there's nothing to do because it's so damn hot. I actually get to enjoy my backyard. I have a covered patio. I have a patio where I can actually hook up an outdoor TV and watch football and, you know, not annoy my wife screaming at football in the house. I'll be outside screaming instead. Just actually get to enjoy the house a little bit instead of, you know, it just being a, you know, place you sleep, essentially. That's my why at the end of the day. That was my why. You know, that was just part of my why. It's not like I said, materialistic thing, or it's not even my major why. I got a lot of major whys I could go on for days listing, and that's the thing. If you have enough whys, like I said, you'll be willing to do anything for this business out here. But yeah, I know we've been going at it for about 20 minutes now, and I've been pretty much just going off on a random little tangent for you all. Didn't really get too much into any topic or anything like that. I will say, one of you, I think it was My World again, mentioned he's going into month 2, which congratulations on making it through the first month in business. You are 1/12 of the way of getting through the toughest part of the journey, which is your first year in business. So congratulations on completing that first step. And he was asking any advice, going into month 2, what to expect. And I'm sure what he meant by what to expect, he's probably talking about in terms of finance. I don't know exactly how much you made your first month in My World. If I remember right, you said you pretty much replaced your income, if I recall, so I'll just kind of go off the national average, which I believe is around $4,000 a month or something like that right now. So if you made, let's just say, $4,000 this first month, like I said, congratulations, you outdid me. My first month wasn't great at all. Made enough to get by, but wasn't great or anything. But if you made that much, awesome. It sounds like you're getting a couple more deals from your Yelp ads, which, by the way, give me some secret sauce on that, because I had no success with Yelp at all. I want to know what area you're in too. I forget which area you're in. If you're seeing this, My World. My World is his YouTube name, for those of you that don't know. He's been watching us for like a year or so now. A very loyal subscriber, and I appreciate all of you, of course. But again, assuming that that's the case, we're just using those numbers. In my opinion, your goal should at the bare minimum be $10,000. I know that's going to sound like a crazy goal, but I find a lot of times if you set crazy goals, you achieve crazy results. It sounds pretty, duh, right? But a lot of people don't think about it like that. They think, okay, like we think reasonable, right? We get caught up, and I guess now that I'm 20 minutes in the video, I'm finally going to get into a little bit of a little topic for you all. But so for those of you all watching, you get the secret sauce, I guess. But this world we live in, especially the education system and our loved ones and this and that, we get caught up in, wanting everybody to be safe and wanting this and wanting that, instead of saying, go for it. Go for it. What are you going to do? Fail? I mean, what happens if you fail? You're going to die? Like, no, you're not going to die. I mean, like you said, you're already replacing your income essentially, so why not start shooting for the stars, Instead of, and who knows, maybe even what I just told you is thinking too small. Instead of 10 grand, why not make it 20? From here, once you find that you're replacing your income, it becomes a lot easier, in my experience and in my opinion, to start shooting for the stars, because now you're playing with, quote unquote house money. You can risk a little bit more in terms of playing around with some advertising. You can take a little bit more risk in terms of, once you have enough excess income, of course, hiring an employee. The more money you have coming in, the more risk you can take on. And I feel like you, at your stage, I think $10,000, great goal. I think that's a great goal. Again, just in my opinion, you could hit it. You could say 15 or 20 or whatever number you want to throw out there. I think $10,000, that's a reasonable goal to have. And you might think, oh man, well, how am I going to get there? That's the point. A goal isn't something, in my opinion, we set goals, again, that are reasonable. Why are we setting goals that are reasonable? When we set goals that are reasonable, sure, you make them where they're a lot more easier to achieve, but like, what good does it do to achieve an easy goal? Now, I'm not saying, say you have your $10,000 goal, I'm not saying it's a bad idea that when you wake up each morning to say, man, I'm really not feeling it today, but to build a little momentum or keep this momentum going, back to our topic of momentum the other day, I'm going to focus on just getting one big sale. I'm not going to worry about going and knocking on 100 doors or 100 cold calls or whatever the case may be. I'm just going to focus on getting one home run today. If I get one home run today and I sell a $1,000 a year contract, that's a win for today. You know, I'm not saying setting little micro goals like that is a bad idea at all. That's great. You know, I strongly believe in keeping the momentum or creating the momentum by any means necessary. But when it comes to your longer term goals, monthly, quarterly, yearly, you should always be aiming for the stars, in my opinion. Especially, like I said, once you get past the initial startup phase of the business in terms of just simply trying to survive. Once you get past the survival stage, from there you should just be shooting for the stars, in my opinion. Unless if, again, you know, you're kind of one of those solo operators who are totally okay with, you know, just making $50,000 to $150,000 a year, and you know, you just kind of want to own your own job. I know most of you are not in that category, which is why I'm giving the advice that I'm giving. If you're in that category where you're okay with being average, mediocre, you know, trying to keep it as nice as I can, but just, in my opinion, a failure, then, you know, none of this really applies. You know, just go out and do whatever you want to do. And, you know, in the case of my world, for example, he's already making, it sounds like $4,000 to $5,000 a month. Just keep doing what you've been doing, and you'll keep getting what you just got this last month. Like I said, it's a great month, great start, but from here, it's time to start shooting for the stars, man. If you wanna, you know, get up there to where you're making 6, 7, 8 plus figures, keep shooting for those stars every single month. Are you going to hit them every month? Probably not, but on the months you do, you can figure out, okay, what really worked this month, diagnose those months down to the exact, not necessarily penny, but the exact move for every single, like, go look at every single sale that happened. Where did they come from? What campaign did they come from? You know, diagnose it to the point that you know every little thing about everything that happened in that month, and try to duplicate it over and over and over. And on the months that are just horrible, and you only do, like, say, just a random number, $1,000 in sales when you're used to doing 5 to 10, you know, figure out what the hell happened this month. Did I take too much time off? You know, what happened that I can control, and cut it out. So hopefully that kind of helps answer his question. If he, or, you know, any of y'all are watching this late into the video, I know a lot of you guys, like I mentioned, last few videos, I'm trying to keep these videos a little bit shorter for you all, but I was just in the mood. Maybe it was the caffeine I had a little bit ago finally kicking in. I was just in the mood, like I said, found the little selfie stick, and wanted to do a quick little video for you all while I had the house to myself. And like I said, give you all some visualization, give you all a quick little real talk, and then answer my world's question, and, you know, give you all a little secret sauce that, for those of you that were loyal and tuned in for the whole video. But like I said, if you're still watching by now, what are you doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit the bell icon right beside it. That way you'll be notified every time we go live or upload another video. And if you like this video, definitely hit that thumbs up button. Let me know if you guys want me to do more videos like this, where I just kind of, you know, not necessarily ramble on, but, you know, try to give you guys a little bit of motivation. You guys know I'm not too big on the word motivation. I don't really like it, but I do really, really believe in the power of, like, manifestation, visualization, like seeing, especially if you can see it in person, that's even better. Like, by the way, if we can speed up our following in terms of YouTube and our Facebook group and Discord group, which, by the way, if you're not in there, links are in the description. If we can keep building this community we got going, you all have really been adding to this community lately. I don't know if you all are sharing the videos or what, but we've been growing at a rapid pace the last few months. And if we can keep growing the community, I plan on actually hosting like a pest control entrepreneurship type of event for you guys. Don't know if it'll be like this year. If so, it would definitely be like towards the holidays or something, but maybe next year. Just something I've been thinking about lately, especially since I know we have a lot of you in the South who are, like, in our region. I think a lot of you would definitely be able to make it, but I want to at least have it to where we would have, at the bare minimum, 50 to 100 members that would want to come out to that. You know, maybe even get a couple of other, you know, pest control related gurus who are in the industry to, you know, either sponsor the event or speak at the event. guys like from the Bug Bucks community or whatever the case may be. Like I said, that's something that I've just been kicking around in my head, because some people would say I have ADHD or whatever the case may be. I say I have ADD because I just like to add money to the bank account at the end of the day. And yeah, I always have things going on in my mind that I think would be cool for everybody. So yeah, if you, like I said, if you haven't already subscribed, join our Facebook group. We just hit 50 members in there. We just started that this year. Our link for that is in the description box. Like I said, Discord is as well. We have about 250 of us in there now, and yours truly is in there as well. And I think that's pretty much it for this video. Like I said, we have those playlists you all can take a look at if you're needing any type of advice. If you have any questions too, of course, you can shout them out in the comments. And I will see you guys in the next video. Take it easy. Go get the life that you and your family deserve.